What's up, and welcome to the third video on this new channel, Nerd Things with Kenny. My name is, Kenny, and I'll be your host. Today we are talking about the show that got me excited for the MCU again, Loki. Now, to preface this, I was absolutely stoked for this show from the beginning. However, after Endgame, I've wondered if the MCU would do anything that would make me as excited as I was every time a new Marvel movie would come out before that. Cause I was always one of those midnight opening day type people. I'd watch theory video after theory video, crafting my own and just having a good time with it. But after Endgame, nothing Marvel was releasing was really getting me all that hyped. Yes, of course I watched WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier shows. I have no major complaints, they were both really solid shows, but I just didn't feel the excitement I used to feel when something like Civil War came out. However, I do have to give mad props to the Falcon and Winter Soldier show for being the first piece of media ever to make me feel like I was watching a comic book come to life. But then Loki starts, and I was in love at first sight. So I know I put a warning on the screen, but this video will have heavy spoilers for Loki mainly, but also the MCU as a whole. You've been warned. Let's get into this. Marvel has this way of slowly building a multi-layer story. If you look at all of the Infinity Saga, you see that they slowly build it to their ultimate climax, the endgame. But in reality, I don't think it was their endgame at all. I think they've had a plan for up to Phase 6 and even beyond for a while now. And Marvel has reached a point that they are so big they can literally do whatever they want. So they are. But now, they aren't doing things slowly. Instead, they're doing things faster than ever, which I am all for. See, my biggest complaint with WandaVision on my first watch was that it just felt off. It wasn't the characters we grew to love, at least for the first few episodes. And when I watch a show, my biggest factor on deciding how I'll rank it is how quickly I get invested into the story. WandaVision took me 5 episodes, The Falcon and Winter Soldier took 3, and Loki, I was invested on 1. Why? Because Loki is part of the Marvel Universe in a big way. Because I believe that we as an audience have evolved past the standard standalone story of Phase 1, 2, and 3. We now need stories that move the needle of the bigger overarching story in a big way. I've heard the MCU compared to an episodic TV series a lot. And for me personally, whenever I am watching a TV show, my biggest pet peeves are filler episodes. And to me, that's what WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier show felt like. Now, before you say something hateful in the comments, let me explain. WandaVision is a great show, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. But it felt a little forced at times, and instead of giving us something big to hold our appetites, we got a boner joke and a big CGI battle. For me, even the end credits scene didn't do much. It just felt like filler till we get to the next thing. Then the Falcon and Winter Soldier show starts. Now, I know this show was heavily affected by the virus, so I'll keep my criticism short. Honestly, this show was good. I liked it a lot. But to me, it didn't do much in terms of the grander story. But you want to know how Loki got me excited for the MCU again. And to answer that, I will give you one name. Kang the Motherfucking Conqueror. Just kidding. He's not the only thing. Though, that ending is probably the best season finale I've ever seen. Because, wow, this show was everything I wanted. Because this Loki story not only lets us follow my favorite MCU character for a full 6 hours, but it changes things for the MCU on a massive scale. It told a standalone story, sure, but the consequences of their actions were always going to be big, and I could feel it in the way that the story was told. But let's talk about more than just Loki. Maybe I'm biased because Owen Wilson has a soft spot in my heart, but Mobius was a lot of fun. Also, I never thought I'd want to see him on a jet ski so badly, but this show made me feel that. This show made me feel a lot. Maybe it's because I used to be a narcissist myself and watching someone else get dealt a piece of humble pie was a nice change of pace. That's not to discount the other shows, but Loki, in my opinion, was the best MCU show we have gotten so far. Loki told a small story with a lot of heart on a big scale with massive consequences, and that is the shit I live for. Marvel, if you see this, which let's be real, you probably won't, but if you do, make more shows like Loki, because Loki got me excited about the MCU again. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you don't mind dropping a like and hitting subscribe, I'd appreciate the hell out of it. I'm out of here. Peace.
Brother, it's caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.